Anyway, I wasn't quite sure what to talk about, and I thought I'll give you a bit of my view from the street of Nimbin, because it's about 25 years I've been sitting there stubbornly getting furious about what I see as serious injustice. I'm really one-eyed about the whole war on drugs. The more I look at it, the more I think it's just so obviously a big blunder. And I think it's essentially probably business, you know. Pain management is big money. And the pharmaceutical companies have really got the whole industry tied up and made illegal. Whoever, you know, came up with the idea first was pretty smart. You know, we'll just ban the three most popular herbal painkillers on the planet, which is the opium poppy, the coca plant and the cannabis plant. And when you look at all the old medicines, you know, they were rolling around the snake oil everyone was using 100 years ago. It had at least one of those three in it, all of them. And look at the trade now. We've got the Taliban growing the opium crop. That's a terrific idea. And the coca trade in South America, and cannabis is easily the most popular. And I don't know, Alex might know, it's probably a $10 billion a year trade in Australia. So the disrespect that this sort of whole underground movement has caused for authorities is a big part of our trouble today, I reckon. The social disrespect, the young people. We're just getting more and more police. The Herald had an interesting story yesterday. New South Wales, we've got to build a large new jail every year to keep up with it. And the recidivist, is that the word? You know, it's something like 80% of people are back in jail. So at some point we're going to have to review this and look at it. Anyway, that's a digression. For me, Nimbin, you know, I feel really grateful that I never discovered pot till I was 24. Well, I might have, you know, I gave my brain a chance and my emotions a chance to probably work themselves out, painfully as it was. And when I first smoked pot, it happened to be in Afghanistan, you know, the best hat. And I had no idea what I was doing, and it was a huge experience. Like people talk about religious experiences. Well, it really changed me. You know, I was in an orange orchard in Kandahar and the whole thing went liquid, and it totally blew my mind. And another 10 years later, and had a few mushroom trips, and it took me a long time to work it all out and realise, you know, people have experiences on drugs that give them a new view of what's going on, and you change. I wasn't going to go back into the stockbroking world. I wanted something more then. So I think that's a big thing with young people. A lot of people have experiences that really do get them thinking and change them, and we judge them very quickly. So I went wandering for 10 years after that, thinking, what the hell am I going to do now, you know? And eventually found my way to Nimbin, which is the last bus stop, and I was all sort of done all my Buddhist training and meditated for years and nice and detached. And I couldn't stand it, watching this ridiculous scenario unfold in our tiny little community, because pot was a bit of a cornerstone of the whole hippie movement. And back 30 years ago, you know, a matchbox of pot was $20 or something, and everyone would share it with each other. It was a bit of a sacred thing. And slowly, through having a business in Nimbin, I watched this change. And it really changed with the tourism, which was on the back of Byron Bay. And Nimbin started getting these tourists, and you could always score pot in Nimbin. And then it was different people who started selling it, and mostly they were selling it to support their heroin habit or their alcohol habit, or they couldn't get any pot to smoke, so they dealt a bit. And it was a small scene, and people knew each other, and there was a bit of responsibility anyway. Nowadays, we've got 9 permanent police in Nimbin. We had 1 in those days. And if you didn't smoke a joint in front of him, it was probably cool, you know. 9 police. And I tell you, I was there last night, and these police, they are hunting one little bud of pot like it's a piece of uranium that's escaped. It's got so serious and so stupid. And I think probably because they let Nimbin go for too long, you know, and the trade and the name and the popularity of pot was all growing with it. And now they can't stop it. And there's an endless lineup of young kids who are going to get a bit of that $500 an ounce. And these kids, you know, they might have dropped out of school, they might have had school, they might have had parents. They're the kids who are not handling it well. They're attracted to here because they want to smoke a bit of pot, really, and they haven't got any. So they're not robbing houses or robbing people, they're selling a bit of pot. And this is the thing that really got to me in Nimbin. I was watching innocent young kids dealing a bit of their parents' weed because, you know, they'd never had new clothes. All the hippies only ever went to op shops. And these little kids would sell a bit of pot to get a pair of Nike shoes, and if you're busted, it's a serious charge. It's one thing to get busted with a few grams personal, but if you're supplying, if you're trafficking cannabis, up before the judge, it's serious. And it's all potluck in front of the magistrate. He can put you in jail or send you home with nothing. And some of them are pretty full on. So that has really sort of put the fire in my belly for a long time. Just watching from the street in Nimbin, this slowly evolving thing to, they've got nowhere the police in trying to stop the cannabis trade. It's just absolutely, we've had huge raids in Nimbin, we've had the riot squad, we've had them spend billions perhaps, not, that must be over the top, millions of dollars anyway, in 30 years of trying to stop weed in just this little village, and it's all not just wasted money, caused a lot of people's lives to be seriously impacted. Broken families, broken careers. Nimbin's full of people who got sacked out of the army or their job or whatever because they got busted. And just the first-hand experience of that has all sort of taken its toll on me. I lost my Buddhist attachment, and now I think, mate, I'm going to take the big joint down to Rudd until he deals with it.